Hello and welcome to the daily Thursday, the 13th of April 2023. In today's Millwall news, we start off with this from londonnewsonline.co.uk. South London Press's online website. Millwall boss makes interesting comment on championship playoff chases and stats back in March. Millwall manager Gary Rowett has talked about most of the clubs chasing the championship playoff places enduring similar results. The Lions paid the price for not converting a number of big chances in Monday's 1-0 defeat at City. Now they face a Preston North End side who are just outside the 6 but have collected 15 points from a possible 18. Millwall in 5th have banked 8 points over the same period, the same as 4th place Middlesbrough on 1 more point than Blackburn in 6th. Norwich 6 points and Coventry 7th are also in the chasing pack. If you own in on the fact that none of the points we won in the last 4 games and not scored the goals we wanted in the last four games, then it looks on the surface to be pretty disappointing, Rowett told the South London Press. From a managerial point of view, I look at it objectively as well, because I have to. If I start getting involved in the emotions of everything, it's not the right thing to do. If I look objectively, then I look at a team that's played with a decent amount of confidence. And we've had something like 68 shots in the last 4 games. We've been on top in the large majority of the last 4 games. We've created big chances in them. The bit missing has been the last little bit, which has been the bit which shows most people's feelings on it. I think we played well and we've moved the ball with confidence. I didn't see a team that was edgy or concerned or nervous. I saw a team that were playing with a bit of freedom and creating good opportunities. But sometimes you get what you deserve in football. We played games like Cardiff and Stoke, but both games felt brilliant afterwards. But the reality is we didn't play well in these games, but we have played well and got nothing out of them. And that's life and that's football. We've got 2 home games coming up and 2 away games against teams in the bottom 3. But I know we'll be scrapping for their lives. It's down to us still. It's down to us to put those performances in. But it's this stage of the season. I look at most of the teams around us. Apart from Preston, I think everyone has won 1 game out of 5. Exactly the same scenario. It is which team handles it the best. And it's going to be the team which nicks one of those playoff places. Indeed. I don't know if Gary Rowett watches my videos, but I pointed this out in the video last week, and I'm pointing it out again to you today in graphical representation using pretty colours of green, red, and grey. You can see here, apart from Burnley, Sheffield United, and Luton, we go on to Middlesbrough, who have won 2 out of the last 6. The teams aren't winning. Teams are not winning. Middlesbrough won 2 out of 6. We've won 2 out of 6. Blackburn have won 2 out of 6. Preston, they're the only good ones because they've won 5 out of 6. They're the ones getting the wins. But let's have a look at those wins, shall we? They beat Reading. Who hasn't? They beat QPR. Again, who hasn't? They beat Blackpool, a team in relegation. Okay. They beat Rotherham, a team near the bottom who could have been relegated if it wasn't for other teams having points deduction. And they beat Cardiff again, who hasn't. The only decent thing they played in Middlesbrough, they lost 4-0 to. So Preston does look good when they've got 5 out of 6, but they've played 5 dogshit teams and won the games that they were to win. Now we move on to Coventry, who have won 1 out of the last 6, which is good for us because that's probably the reason why they haven't usurped our place in the playoffs. And then we move on to Coventry, who again have won 1 out of 6, but they've got 4 draws. So again, similar like nobody can win. That's why basically we're still in the playoffs, despite our poor results, because every other team has equal or worse poor results than us. Because you really do need to win, go up the table, and you can see that Preston have come out of nowhere, having won all those games, but they have a negative goal difference. So I think this is a game that it's not going to be as hard as it looks. I think we can certainly beat Preston. we need a bit of luck and we need to put the effort in. But certainly a winnable game. Preston's position, again, because they're the only team that have been winning, not only in terms of teams in the playoffs, but the teams that are chasing, that's why they've come up. They really be about 13th or 14th. But then you've got teams like, even if we go down to Sunderland, have won 2 out of the last 6, West Brom won 2 out of 6, and Watford have won 1 out of 6. None of the teams in the competition aren't winning except for Burnley, Sheffield United, Luton, who haven't lost in the last 6, and Preston. So there you go. Gary Rowett is correct. I don't know if he figured that out of his own or if he watched my video. But anyway, let's go on and move on. This is from subnews.co.uk. It's going to be down to us. Millwall manager admits more needs to be done to secure a top 6 finish. Gary Rowett knows that his side cannot rely on results elsewhere to go in their favour as they look to improve their form in final 5 fixtures. Yes, having said that there are none of the teams apart from Preston and Luton are winning games. That's in the last 6 games. We've got the next 5 games. Is it 5 left or 4 left? Team that can win some of those is going to be the one that pushes on and gets into the playoffs. So we certainly do need to start winning some games now. So yeah. Gary Rowett says that it's up to Millwall to improve their results after a disappointing Easter weekend, but admits that their playoff rivals are in similar positions. I think this might be the same thing that we've just read. My apologies for that. No, it's slightly different. Okay. I think it's taken from the same interview. The reality is that some other teams are facing the same situation, he said after Monday's defeat at the MKF Stadium. We can always look at it from just our own perspective. If you're West Brom, have you won the right amount of games in the last year? Well, we know that. No. If you're Norwich, have you won the right amount of games in the last year? No. You can go for 4 or 5 teams in a similar position to us. We've just done that. Is that pressure? Have the games become bigger? Is it that teams are chasing down the top 6 feel a little less pressure and more freedom? You look at someone like Preston. Ryan's done a brilliant job. They're flying and they're in the ascendancy. And we play them next. And the reality is that you've got to do enough. You've got to have enough points at the end of the season. However you do that, you can do that by winning the first 20 games, being poor after, taking a few points. But you can do it by winning what you need to win, which clearly for us is a few more games. We've got 5 games left, but we've got 2 home games coming up and 2 away games, which you'll probably look at and say that take some yard. If we want to achieve anything this year, it's going to be down to us. Basically, more or less the same. There you go. Yeah, exactly. It's down to us now. We need to be the team that does win. Probably, 3 more? 3 of these games out of the last 5, which would give us 71? I guess. Well, if no one else is winning. But yeah, we just need to match everyone's results, or match or improve. So we play Preston next. If we win that, that's massive. We go 65. They stay on 62. Depends what Blackburn and Norwich do, but yeah, certainly. Probably 3 more wins should do it, I think. So there you go. Moving on now to this. Billy Mitchell giving an interview to the South London Press, londonnewsonline.co, and they've got some of that up online now. Obviously, it's in Friday's paper, Friday the 14th, which is probably the time you're reading this, because I'm recording very, very late. Billy Mitchell has revealed he initially thought his nomination for Men's Young Player of the Year award at the London Football Awards was a practical joke. The Lions midfielder was shortlisted for the accolade alongside Arsenal duo Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli, with Crystal Palace attacker Michael Olise England international Saka was one of the hottest properties in European football, won the award. It's pretty good company to be in, people told the South London Press. At first, I thought it was an hoax, so I got tagged in the tweet and I spoke to my family and they said, don't do anything yet, make sure it's real. I checked the website and it was obviously on there. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. I was injured when the awards were on and the lads had a game the next day, so it probably wouldn't have been that professional to have gone. I'd love to have gone. Being the same bracket as those lads, international players was pretty cool, so I'll take it. Mitchell clocked up 100 games for Millwall at QPR and was presented afterwards with a signed shirt. The Academy Product 22 has recently returned to the first team setup after tearing ankle ligaments against Coventry in mid-February. Scotty organised it with a kit man, Jack, said he when asked about the post off the road. It was a really nice gesture. Adrian's dad, Jack, one of the kit men, said he'd never seen anyone do that in 17 years of working at the club. It was nice to top it off with a win against QPR. Had we lost that game, we wouldn't have had the same. And like I said, you can see tomorrow's South London Press for an in-depth chat with Mitchell. But before then, we have another part in that interview, so it must be really in-depth. Previewed two pieces from it. It all felt a little bit loose. Sounds like me after a curry. Millwall midfielder Mitchell on ankle injury sustained at Coventry City. Millwall midfielder Billy Mitchell spoken about the ankle injury he suffered at Coventry City and how he initially did not realise he had suffered a tear that would require an extended spell on the sideline. The 22-year-old midfielder is back in the Lions lineup, made his first start since mid-February, Monday's 1-0 defeat at City. I actually felt really good on the pitch on Monday, so that was a positive, Mitchell told the South. There was absolutely no problems with the ankle. The day after the match, it is physically, in a good way. I'm not moaning. That's called DOM, delayed onset muscle soreness. Mitchell injured his ankle inside the opening 30 seconds at Coventry after a strong challenge from former Charlton youngster AC Palmer. It didn't really feel anything at the time. It's more just like an impact than anything. The last play. I came out for the second half and it all felt a little bit loose. I was tapping my foot on the floor to try and get the muscles to activate and wake up a bit, but they weren't having any of it. I didn't feel too much pain in the game. Coincidentally, I'd taken an ibuprofen sachet for a dead leg, which I would never normally do. Maybe that plus adrenaline took the edge off it. When I woke up the next morning, it was massively swollen, so I knew I probably should get it checked out. It ended up being torn quite badly. You can't really do a whole lot until the swelling subsides a little bit. Then I was in a boot for 2 weeks, followed by a cast, and then gradually you're regaining the mobility of the ankle bone. Where it's swollen, it becomes very stiff. Then it's about re-strengthening the muscles from the shin, calf, and ankle to get it stable again. Mitchell probably could have returned for the Strict West Brom at the start of this month. I was probably fit enough to play there, but I'd only started full training on Monday of that week, he said. We had a Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday as full days of training. Friday's very light. West Brom was the Saturday after the international break. I think the gaffer deemed it a little bit too early to come back into the squad. Plus, the lads have been doing really well. You can't really justify taking anyone out. Plus, I'm only 3.5 days in training. To go back into a high-pressure game in those circumstances might have been a case of being thrown in at the deep a little bit. He probably made the right decision to get some minutes against Burnley under the ones, and then a few minutes against Luton. And like I said, you can see tomorrow's South London Press full interview with Billy Mitchell. Now, moving on to this, which is Millwalls hosts Community Day at the Den this Saturday. Millwall Football Club is pleased to announce it will host its annual Community Day on Saturday, 15th April. The Lions take on the Preston North End in the Sky Bet Championship, with Community Day providing a platform for the club to showcase a wide variety of fantastic work performed by the Millwall community. Trust the event in 2023. There's a long list of events taking place throughout match day EC16. Principal partner Husky Chocolate finally generously forfeited their sponsorships on today. The new Millwall Communities Trust's logo will feature on the front instead. In the build up to the game, the Trust will use the Lions Centre and some of the Den's main car parks to showcase a small part of their work in the local community. Meanwhile, in the Lions Centre, Millwall Trust's activities will be taking place whilst outside the Copper Lane end Partner organisations of the Trust and the Club will have stalls to showcase their work in conjunction with Millwall. Participants of Millwall Community Trust programs will work alongside volunteers from other projects to drive a stadium-wide bucket to raise funds for the charity. Please give generous local band Deptford Rascals playing before the game at the SE16 bus stops. Bandstand, limited edition Millwall Community Trust t-shirts will be given out around the stadium. Community action will continue on the pitches. Female players from the line set up to provide a guard of honour. Sean Daly, Millwall Community Trust CEO, said, "We want to build on the success of last year's Community Day, showcasing the great work the club does in the community. And this is also a way to thank all of those who support the trust, from players and club staff, fans, partners, and the local community. As a self-financing charity, events like Community Day are so important in allowing us to continue our work in the local area. So please come and join the celebration." You can find out about more from the Millwall Community Trust at millcommunity.org.uk. There you go. I guess is that the logo there we wearing now? I don't. But there you go. Moving on to this, which happened today. A little advert for the club trying to sell you a ticket for Preston North. Got your ticket? Yeah. So here we go. Millwall Junior Alliance Fun Day, because obviously it's Easter this well now and last week it's Easter holiday, so they've decided to do Junior Alliance Fun Day. Took place on Wednesday afternoon, situated in the Millwall Community Trust building. The first team squad were in attendance. Hundreds of supporters and Junior Alliance posed for photographs and met their heroes. Attractions were also on offer, with bouncy castles enjoyed, donuts eaten, and football played, amongst much more. Take a look at our gallery below and see if you can spot yourself. All ice. There we go. So there you go. True Man and Fleming and Bellina. There you go. Romain Estley there. And McNamara, Cooper, Barbikovsky, Zampa joining Bellina there. George Long. Aforementioned Bouncy Castle. That's kind of good. Got a slide there as well, which is good because back in my day, Bouncy Castles was just like a little room you went in and you jumped up and down. You didn't have a slide like that. There you go. So yeah, there we go. Oh, there's a police sniffer dog there. Wonder what they found on those kids. Is that a baby dog? He's not fully grown. Looks, maybe it's a mongrel. That's not an Alsatian, is it? Where's Tom Bradshaw there? Oh, and they've got the police horses out as well. Shackleton. Oh look, getting them trained early, getting them in the back of a police van. Nice. Oh yeah. So you got that's this is foreshadowing of what's going to happen if we lose. We get in the playoffs and lose the playoff game. So there you go. Smashing into police vans and taking their equipment. And you're never too young, are you? Too young. Scott Malone there. Like he's having a lot of fun there, isn't he? Around Billy Mitchell. George Double. Sean Matchton. Voggy. Vogel Sama. George Evans. Duncan Watmore. A lot of the players were there then, huh? Right, so I think, how many photos are there? They just keep going, don't they? Seems like a lot of fun actually. Seems like a lot of fun. And we're back around again. So there you go. Junior Alliance Fun Day today. Everyone seems to have a lot of fun. Now, here we go. This is it. This is probably the lead story, but I'll put it at the end because we're going to go on for a bit. So here we go. Vote for your 2022-23 Millwall Football Club Player of the Season. Yes, it is that time of year. I was supposed to do a video about this a couple of weeks ago, but obviously I was off for 5 days during the international break because my laptop battery decided to end up being the lead. So I ended up not doing the story, talking about this. But now I guess now's the time. Who is your man? Murray Wallace won the award last season, but has he done enough to retain the crown? Probably not. No offence, Murray, but Zion Fleming and Tom Bradshaw have spearheaded the Lions attacking Mill's quest for the top 6, battling at the top of the goal scoring charts all year round. Do either of them get your vote? Others in the frame consist of Billy Mitchell and George Saville, who have anchored the midfield superbly across the campaign, whilst lonely Charlie Cresswell has impressed in the art of defence. It's time to choose your favourite. Voting closes on 5 PM Wednesday, the 26th of April. You can vote here. If you can't vote online, although I don't know how, if you're watching this, you probably can. You can head to the MSC awning before Saturday's Sky Bet Championship meeting with Preston North End for more information. I don't know if it's by the Blue Bus, or the Blue Bus turned like a full nightclub now. Normally they would say the Blue Bus. For more information, Mill's end of season awards night here. So yeah, they're trying to sell that as well. So who gets it? Obviously, I imagine right away when I mentioned that you had a name in your head. It was probably the one that they mentioned here: Zion Fleming, Tom Bradshaw scoring goals, George Saville, Billy Mitchell being consistent in midfield and doing quite well. Then you've got in defence Charlie Cresswell, Sean Hutchinson, or even Danny Mack on Murray Wallace. Still been pretty steady and stable. So, well, you know what we have to do? We have to look at the stats, don't we? Because that's the world we live in. So here we go. This is the Millwall squad. In terms of numbers, and why do we do this? Well, this is a way that we can compare people objectively rather than subjectively. Obviously, you look at the game differently than I look at the game. We think, oh, he's played well, he's really good. So here we go. So if we go by rating on the right hand side, orange number, this is what we've got. We've got Zion Fleming 7.12, we've got Charlie Cresswell 7.08, we've got George Saville 6.93, and then we've got Jake Cooper 6.92. Jake Cooper, not really mentioned. Does he get your vote? Had a bit of a rough time with it. Maybe the sympathy vote, not getting any fouls or penalties from being sexually assaulted in the opposition's box. Murray Wallace there, surprisingly in 5th. Been consistent still, even though kind of a few complaints about him this year, I think. His rating according to this website he's our 5th best player of the season. And then you've got Sean Hutchinson, who, to be honest, if we move on to our next metric, which is minutes played, I don't think you can have a player of the season who's only played 1,505 minutes. No offence, unless they score like 30 goals in those minutes, but possible. So if we click by that and go by who's played the most minutes, you got Jake Cooper with 3,000. I'm not going to read it all out, but Jake Cooper, you can see for yourself. You should find it. Which I apologise. Jake Cooper, Danny McNamara, Mario Wallace, Simon, then George Long, then George Saville, then Tom Bradshaw. So I think realistically, only these top 9 can be in consideration, really, when we say that, based on the minutes involved. And we go by actual appearances rather than minutes. Probably going to be a similar situation, although we've got George Honeyman coming off the bench 12 times. This website bizarrely adds the appearances and substitute appearances together. You've got 40 plus 1 for Jake Cooper, who's 41. And then you've got George Honeyman, 26 and 12, he's obviously 38. But they don't list it by starts. So they've given that as George Honeyman 38. Then you've got Zion Flem 38, 35 starts, 3 subs. So yeah, there you go. But in terms of players who've got the most actual starts, you've got Jake Cooper. Then you got Zion, Danny Mack, you got Mario Wallace, you got Zion Fleming, George Saville, you got Tom Bradshaw 33. So there you go. Charlie Cresswell, the main 9, probably the lowest of 25. So there you go in terms of appearances. Now let's look at goals, because I don't know, weirdly, for some reason, Millwall fans over the years don't really give the player of the season to the player who scored the most goals in the season. They normally like to look for the underdog and the hard-working kind of defender or midfielder. But this season, maybe it will go to a goal scorer. We've got Tom Bradshaw with 14, Zion Flem with 13. Once the formation changed and they were allowed to cook, we let them cook. They started coming up with the goals, and they kind of took the goals from everywhere else, because the next scorer down below is Charlie Cresswell with 4, and then Vogelsang with 3, and Jake Cooper with 3. So Benikobe is our 6th top scorer with 2 goals still, and he's playing in the United Arab Emirates 2nd division now. So hey, yeah, there you go. So if you're going by goals, it's got to either be either of the top 2, or maybe that adds fuel to Charlie Cresswell, the fact that he's defending so well, and he's our 3rd top goal scorer, and that might be a thing. Plus that he had a little bit of a wobble where he fell out of the team, and he came back in and was brilliant. And he got injured twice in terms of getting a kick in the face and then an elbow that fractured his eye socket. So maybe that might be something to do. But can you give player of the season to a lone player, even though he's got the right attitude? He seems to be getting stuck in. Certainly a Millwall type of player, but he's on loan. Leeds United. So can you give it to a lone player? I'm not too sure you can. I don't think this ever happened, and I don't think it ever will. However much we like Charlie, and unless they announce it that they've made an agreement to sign him in the summer with Leeds, they'll get a few votes, certainly not enough to win. If we go by assists, but who goes by assists now? You've got Vogelsang with 5, Scott Malone with 4, George Honeyman with 3, Bradshaw. Now let's go. Before, I'm not going to go. So this is just comparing. Let's go man of the matches. Actually, man of the match in this instance just means the players had the highest rating, which is the orange number, in a match. So they've been the best player for Millwall in that match, but the best player overall compared to the opposition as well. So we've got Zion Flem with 7, Charlie Cresswell with 6, Bradshaw with 3, Cooper with 2, Mario Wallace with 2. Again, I think that's got to be your top people, isn't it? I think so. They're the names you get mentioned, and they're the ones at the top. So now, yeah, rather than obviously going on, I could go by shots per goal, aerials won, etc. But comparing them to other players in Mill's squad on shots per goal and aerials won, not really conducive. But we can do that by going to the Championship. So this is comparing Championship players overall. So apparently the best player in this league, according to WhoScored.com rating system, is João Pedro from Watford with 7.44. And then Oliver Norwood, then Josh Brownhill, and then Chuba Akpom. So players scored. I don't know how the metrics work. This obviously is done by rating. But players scored 26 goals, top scorer in the league. He's only the 4th best player in the league, but there you go. So, how do Millwall players compare to this? Well, obviously, if you've got a good memory, you would have seen before that our best players aren't playing with 7.12. So let's move on, because he might be on the second page. So let's go along, and you can see, yeah, so Zion is the 14th best player in the league. Then you got Charlie Cresswell 18th, and then we're going to go along to, we're going to keep doing top 50. So we'll see how many Millwall players in the top 50. None there. None there. So this is the last page, and indeed we have George Saville, 46th best player in the league. Jake Cooper, 48th. So there you go. That's based on that orange number on the right. The it's rated now. Are any Millwall players in the top minutes? I don't think so. Does that really matter? No. But oh, so we got Jake Cooper there. Jake Cooper played the most amount of minutes for Millwall, and that puts him 14th in the league overall. So this is kind of a comparison. You can say, well, what you see the numbers on the Millwall list. Well, what does that mean league wide? How good is that? What kind of metric is that? Let's look at the goals and see where Millwall are on that. So obviously we're 6th top scorer. Or would that be? So they've got a joint third there. So joint 5th. So Bradshaw's the 5th top scorer, and then Zion Fleming's is joint 6th. So there you go, there and there. So we know no other Millwall players in the top 50. So yeah, does that do it for you? Does that do? Assist wise, I doubt we're not going to have a Mill player there. What does that compare? Mill's numbers. Jed Wallace there, number 5th with only 8. Not that many assists this season overall in the league. It looks like. So where's who was it? Bogleshammer, 28th with 5 assists. The 28th most assists in the league. There you go. And I guess that we will have another. Scott Malone will be in the top 50, will he? He's joint, so he's joint, whatever, because we've got so many players on 4. So there you go. Now shots per game. We do like a shot. We don't generally get them on target or score them, but hey, we do like shooting. Here we go. 3rd in the league. Must be a Dutch thing because Joel Perreault is the 1st with 3.2 shots per game average, and Zion Fleming is 2.9. So there you go. Probably explains why he doesn't have that many assists either. He likes to shoot. There you go. 3rd in the league. So he's one of the highest scorers, but he does have the most shots per game. Where are there any other Millwall players in the top 50? There are none. Oh, there is. Tom Bradshaw's there, 16. So in terms of Bradshaw having 14 goals, but he's having less shots per game. Does that do it for you? 2.1 shots. So he's having less shots per game than Zion Fleming. We've got 1 more goal. And remember, these top scorers, Bradshaw and Fleming, we're not doing it with penalties because we don't get any. Do we have any other doubt? Do? No, we don't. Let's do it by aerials 1. I'm sure the defenders in the eye up to Andy Carroll, most aerial player in the league at 34 with 7.4 aerials 1 per game. We have the 3rd best player in the league, Charlie Cresswell. Again, he's a lone player and he's only played 2,064 minutes. But he's got 5.2 aerials per game. Where's Jake Cooper? Jake Cooper's 6, 4.9. I see he's played the most amount of minutes and he's got 4.9 aerials per game. 1, does that do it for you? Don't know. I think he also has the most amount of yellow cards. 9. So who else is winning aerials for Millwall? Are they in the top of the table for the league? Murray Wallace, 3.5 per game. He's 27th. Sean Hutchinson, despite only playing 1,505 minutes, he's on 2.9 aerials 1 per game. So there you go. Let's just go back and do yellow cards actually. In terms of discipline, Where George Saville is number 1 with 10. So he's 11th in the league, 10 yellow cards, and then obviously Jake Cooper would be on this table. Oh, Danny McNamara, 23rd in the league. Jake Cooper, 28th in the league. And we must have some more in the top 50 now. Who else would be in the top 50? Probably Honeyman, maybe? No. Honeyman, obviously, with the only Mill player to be sent off this season, I believe. Sent off at Cambridge, so it might not come up on this because it's the league only. Yeah, so I'm not going to look at that. So there you go. That's the kind of thing that you can do. If you want to have a go and click on this website, you can see. So here's the defensive stuff. We've got tackles, interceptions, fouls, offsides. In terms of defensive, offsides is player who's won an offside. So you can see here on the bottom, this is offsides 1 per game. So that's basically you step up and you stick your hand in the hair and then you get the offside. So let's just rattle through some of these quickly. Probably just similarly try and do the top 50 or so. No Millwall players in the top 10 for tackles per game. I imagine that Danny Mack would be our best player for that. No one so far. George Saville, 34, 44th in the league, 2.1. And then no one. So just George Saville tackles per game. But that's the thing. If you like your tacklers, you're gonna vote for George Saville. Interceptions per game. No one in the top 10. No one there. No one there. Sean Hutchinson. So again, Sean Hutchinson, despite only playing 1,505 minutes, is one of the best in the league for aerials 1 per game and interceptions per game. And this is why they do it per game rather than just total things, because it's based on you can have a player who's really well, but we're really good, but he hasn't played that much time, and his stats would be hidden down if you just did it by pure numbers. And then we have Danny Mack on the same 1.4 down to 40, and then George Saville, Jake Cooper, so 1.4. So there you go. Quite a few Millwall players in the top 50 for interceptions. Let's skip fouls. So who have we got? Anyone who's won an offside? So Dale Fry basically wins 1 offside per game by stepping forward with his hand in the air and winning that. Doesn't seem to be a big metric. Do we have any Millwall players in this? I don't think so, because we don't play that high of a line. We seem to be dropping back, as you saw against Hull. The defence were dropping back, and there was no one there going forward to combat Traore. So Jake Cooper, 0.4 offsides per game. Jake Cooper there in 48. Let me just there. There you go. Maybe that's another thing for Jake Cooper. If you haven't decided yet. So clearances per game. No one there, but Danny Ballard in the top 10. No one there. No one there. No one there. And finally, we've got 2 Mill players here. So clearances per game, 46 Charlie Cresswell. Again, played a lot less minutes on the pitch than most of these players above him, or around him, 46 in the league with 3.1. And just sneaking in the top 50, Jake Cooper with 3. So there you go. DRB, you know what that means? Dribbled past, I believe. Dribbled past per game. That's a bad metric. It's not a good metric. You want to be low on this. So if we have a player high on this would be bad. And Jed Wallace makes an appearance, number 10. So obviously trying to stand up a player and having them just think past you. George Honeyman, 1.1 in 11th. That's not good. George Saville, 16th, 1.1 as well. Anyone else? Mario Wallace there. Maybe this is what people are seeing when they look at Mario Wallace as getting done for pace, 0.8 dribbled pass per game. So 3 mil plays in that. That's not a good thing. Blocks, so block shots, is it? Outfielder blocks per game. See, I think that's block shots, I believe. So this is going back to a good metric. Do we have anyone here? Charlie Cresswell. Again, another favouring Charlie Cresswell, but again, he's on loan. Maybe he'll get Young Player of the Year. Would that be? But no, I don't think Romain Hesse. Compared to minutes on the pitch, Romain Hesse hasn't played that much. He's not coming up in these metric charts, even though it is per game. So would you vote Charlie Cresswell for Young Player of the Year? Would he get it? Would he accept it? No. Only 20 years old. Only 20 years. So yeah, he's 15th, 0.8 per game. And any more Millwall players? Jake Cooper, 33rd, 0.7. And next, Sean Hutchinson sneaking in at 50. Again, he's only played 1,505 minutes. You can do this. You can do this for days. If you click on detailed, you can literally click. You can sort out who's the best Austrian player in the league. I don't know. Are there any? I didn't even know there were. Oh, there's 2, and it's Daniel Bachmann, the goalkeeper. But yeah, you can go through all the stats on this on whoscored.com. So let's just go back to offensive. I'm not going to go through a crazy amount. Let's just see if any Millwall players in the top 20. Obviously, what have we seen? We've seen shots per game, DRB, and dribbles per game. So this is going forward, dribbles forward per game. Do we have any players here? No. So I guess it would be Tyler Burry. Be number 1 for Millwall in this metric. Yeah, he's 43rd in the league, 1 dribbles per game. But despite only playing 893 minutes. He's seemingly, Simon Fleming as well, 0.9, just sneaking into the top 50. He's seemingly the only Millwall player who can get on the ball and run with it. Because everyone else either passes it sideways or knocks it long. That's what we do. Offsides games, so this is a bad metric. Will we have an offside? Who would that be for Millwall? Tom Bradshaw, 0.5 offside game. That's it, isn't it? He's the only one further forward enough to get offside. Oh, Vogelsang, 33rd, 0.4. Despite playing a lot less time than Bradshaw, getting offside a lot. And that's it. Oh, and Tyler Burry, 0.4, which is not good. The fact that you played 893 minutes and you get 0.4 of an offside. Dispossessed is having the ball taken off you. I believe. Let's have dispossessed per game. Do we have anyone here? So obviously, remarkably, you have apparently the best player in the league is João Pedro. It's the 2nd in the table. This is a bad metric. Bad. You can see you got Luke Freeman there, Troy Parrott. So and Jack Clark there for Sunderland, a £10 million player there, being one of the best in the bad metrics. I guess if you're doing a lot of attacking play and risky stuff, you're going to get dispossessed with the ball. But maybe it's not bad as it seems. I guess it depends on what you do and how that comes about. We don't seem to have any Millwall in the top 50 for that. So yeah, Millwall schedule is there 41, so Millwall not dispossessed a lot. Unscheduled touches. This is poor ball control, which is probably going to prevent you making it into the Premier League. Again, you can see some of the better players in the league. A player that we were linked with, Ogbene, the Irish by 3.8, is second. Do we have any others? Bradshaw, 22, with 2.3 unchecked touches per game. That's it, the top 50. So, his last thing, passing wise, we've seen assists. What shall we look at? Let's look at. Yeah, let's just run through these. Might as well while we're here. I don't know if anyone's changed their mind on who they think is going to be their Millwall vote as player of the season. So this is key passes per game. Basically, a pass that does something exciting, through or something. George Honeyman. Doubt he'll get. Doubt he was Many's prediction for a player who would be player of the season. Although it's turned out he's not really been involved much, been more of a substitute. But he's there for key passes per game, 20th in the league, 1.5 key passes per game. Any Mill plays there? No. Oh, yep. George Saville was there. George Saville 38 for 1.2. And then, yeah, just those two. So Honeyman and George Saville there. Average passes. Obviously, we don't do a lot of passing. You can see Swansea there. He has 95 passes a game. And then this is just dominated by Swansea players, Swansea and Burnley players. Ben Cabango. Crosses per game. George Honeyman again, 1.3. George Saville again, 1.2. But they're the ones going forward and doing stuff forward. I think Billy Mitchell sitting back more. Got Scott Malone there, 1.1. 24th in the league. He's playing 1,145 minutes. And he's still got 4 assists. So, there you go. Will we have anyone else? We have the Vogel Sama, 40th. With 0.8 crosses per game. And he has 5 assists. So he's got less crosses than Scott Malone, but 1 more assists. So there you go. I believe that would probably be it. Yep. So yeah, like I said, you can go around all day and look at this. But looking at this, it could go either way, isn't it? Fleming, Bradshaw. Personally, even though I like Charlie Cresswell, I love him. He's a lone player. He's on loan from Leeds. Don't think he can get my vote for player of the season because of that. So I think that discounts him out. Jake Cooper. I think if you're gonna pick any of the defenders, probably would be Jake Cooper. Again, Murray Wallace. Everyone's slagging him off. He's 5th. He's our 5th best player apparently. Been pretty consistent. So there is that. Let me just click on that. That's out. Great. Yeah. George Saville. Pretty solid. Senior pro now. A lot different type of player than what he was in his first spell at Millwall. Yeah. Again, Sean Hutchinson been quality when he's been playing, but missed a fair few minutes. I don't think you can vote for him based on that. So yeah, I think it's going to be between Fleming, Saville, Cooper, and Bradshaw. So it's between one of those 4. Take your pick, isn't it? I mean, you've got until the 26th of April to cast your vote. So it's basically what happens in the next couple of games. Who's going to score? The next player who scores a goal. Get their name in the headlights, in the headlines. Get your name in people's minds to get the player of the season. Would you want it? Would you want it? It seems to be a bit of a curse. Biakowski got it 2 years in a row, and then the season after he's obviously been dropped. Mario Wallace got it last year, and now this season apparently he's not really doing too well, but he's our 5th best player apparently according to this. But yeah, what do you think? Fleming, Saville, Cooper, or Bradshaw? Or will you vote for someone else? I know people will love Danny Mack and they'll vote for him because I think that they think it's like your favourite player award. It's not your favourite player; it's player of the season. So it's not just I like this player, I want to vote for him. But hey, that's how you want to do it. Fair enough. Go ahead, but what can you do? Yeah, I think here's the way I look at it: the player who's got the most out of what they've got, which is why I often genuinely vote for the hardworking midfielder, the solid defender. But I think in terms of this season, I'm probably going to vote for Bradshaw based on he finally come good. He was a big price. I think he broke our transfer record at the time before it was quickly broken again by Ryan Leonard or the other way around. But with Fleming, we paid 1.7 million for him. You expect him to be this good, and you expect him probably to be maybe a little bit better. But yeah, I think Tom Bradshaw, in terms of pound for pound, what we've got out of him, what he had to do, he's basically our only striker now, and the goals that he's got, the hat tricks that he's got, the fact that has been recognised by a Welsh international club. So obviously, come the what was it? Phoenix rising from the ashes. He had a couple of injuries, had a couple of poor seasons. Now he's come good. So I think that story kind of puts the cap on it for me. I think probably gonna have to vote for Bradshaw, but it's not. Obviously, there is 12 days to go before the voting closes, but I think I'm probably skewing towards Bradshaw at the moment. And if it wasn't for him, it'd probably be Saville. So I would probably go Bradshaw and Saville. I like the solid players. I like the ones that are consistent. I like the story that they've coming back from something, proving themselves and making the most of what they got. So I think I'll probably go for Bradshaw, Saville, and then probably Fleming, just on that he's a quality player. So yeah, my top 3 right now, that may change before I vote, would be Bradshaw, Saville, and Fleming. What do you think? And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.